ready for another lesson?
We ready?
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we only have one sort of, it's like a half news, half trailer to combine one for one news story. Sorry, for one news story today.
Whoa.
It's kind of an odd situation. I don't think it's happened before, but yeah, light news week, so we'll get to that. The news streaming, of course. It's a light list, but there's something very exciting coming out for a certain someone on this podcast. And I'm excited to talk about it.
Whoa.
It is a whoa situation. What we're watching, of course.
Of course.
And as always. And then our main review for the episode is The Suicide Squad. Emphasis on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I cut you off last week when we said we were doing this movie. Then I was like, whoa, what's the first one called?
Suicide Squad.
Right.
Just Suicide Squad.
And I
Learn something
don't
new
think
then.
I'll be watching that movie again. The first one.
Did you watch it for the first time this week?
The original Suicide Squad?
Yeah, or
No, I saw that in theaters.
Oh, okay.
I think he was just saying in comparison to this.
Well,
why would you ever
not even
watch the
necessarily in
first one?
comparison to this. Just in general, I don't think I would ever want to watch it for.
Suicide Squad or Justice League, fellas? Quick. Adam.
What are you going to watch?
Yes.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Yeah. Will Smith and Margot Robbie are enough for me, but that's about it.
Suicide Squad or Green Lantern?
Suicide Squad.
Fuck yeah.
There's not many more movies you can put below that, though. Those are like the only two. Joining me today, and as always, it's Napalm Nathaniel.
Hello.
That's a cool fucking name.
I don't know. That's not
Yeah, I
bad.
know. I was writing that today. I was like,
It's better than the kneecap with the disc in the kneecap. Yep.
what was that? Man, I forgot the name.
Yeah, I forgot it too.
That was for the G.I. Joe episode.
Yeah, it was for the G.I. Joe episode. Also joining us today, it's Teeny Titan Ty.
Teeny tight. What the fuck? I'm big.
I envision you as the DC Ant-Man.
Okay.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah,
Ant-Man's strong, man.
Ant-Man's dope.
I think that's the Atom, isn't it?
Sure.
I believe so.
Which would work for you.
I guess it
Adam
would.
the Atom.
Wow. I guess it could.
Well, scratch your name.
And rounding out the squadron today is Big Ballistic Blake.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, and I put the big on there for
Thank
you,
you.
Nathaniel. Yeah, I was like, I will not be corrected again.
Big.
Yeah.
Big. Yeah.
Everyone's got cool ass fucking names. I'm Teeny.
Teeny Titan. You could just be Titan Ty.
Titan Ty. I don't know. I thought the idea of you being like a from,
Miniature.
Have you seen Invincible yet?
No.
I'm envisioning Ty looking like Immortal from Invincible. But
Oh,
then
yeah.
he can like shrink and grow bigger.
Every time somebody says immortal, all I think about is the one that's kind of like 300.
Immortals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that.
Pretty sure that's Henry Cavill, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Unless it's like a doppelganger.
Yeah, someone
who's
looks exactly
just
like him.
semi-famous. Yeah.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Yeah.
It's been another long week for me. I don't know about you. Nathan, you said it was like last week. It was Blink of the Eye.
Yeah, I think it was that again, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the complete other way. These weeks have been dragging for me.
Check Henry Cavill.
Hey-o.
Hey, yo.
1 for 1 on today's episode, folks.
There we go. Let's see if we can keep that streak going as we get into the episode. Only, like I said, one news story. I'm combining. It's like half and half here. Combining news and combining trailer talk.
Hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
It's
Exactly.
new
That's
media.
the word I'm looking for. It's a hybrid. It's new media.
Chimera.
It's got we got a first look at season 4 of Stranger Things.
Nice.
So it's bit trailer talk, bit news. So the trailer was like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Teaser.
Like 45 seconds. Have you guys seen Stranger Things? Everyone here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, surprisingly, I have. I've seen all 3
I was gonna say
seasons.
Blake was my only
Yeah,
because when
Blake-
we were running
when I
the
was-
trailer, I had
yeah.
watched it earlier today, so I didn't know if everybody watched it. So
Mhm.
you were like, "Can I start this?" I was like, "I don't know. Check with Blake."
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we got to look at, it looks like the origins of L in some ways. But we'll see where that goes
Yeah.
to.
How do you feel about a prequel-y season?
Is the whole, I don't know, is the whole thing you think a prequel?
I hope not.
I don't know, man.
Or I think that I could see the flashbacks happening and we
Yeah.
actually get an origin story. I'd be fine with that.
The hard
Yeah.
part about doing that now is she's
She's
aged
older.
so much.
Well, yeah, obviously you'd have to do flashbacks,
Right.
but or they could just or different actress.
unless you knew what this is what you wanted to do and you
I don't
have the
want them to
footage
do that,
already.
though.
No, like if she's like 7.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
No, she's not. She's 11.
I see what you did there. I'm too far from the board to do the rim shot, but just imagine it there, folks.
There you go.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm too Stranger Things burnt out. I just don't know if I care about this story anymore. It was really cool.
Too
but-
long,
Yeah.
too
I don't
long
know.
When was
between
the third
seasons.
season?
Third season was 2018?
That sounds
2019?
Right.
Yeah,
20, I think
2018.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think I just crapped out on it. It was really interesting when it first came out, and that kind of
Actually, it
Right.
says in the story, season Stranger Things last aired in 2019.
2019.
Wow, that had been early 2019. That
But I
seems so
remember,
recent.
I remember not being excited for season 3, and then watching it, and they like actually got me back on
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, because
fair.
everyone, season 2 was kind of negative for everyone, I felt.
Yeah.
That was like
It was
kinda
okay.
general. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Some people were pretty negative on it.
I think the thing with Stranger Things is even when it misses, it still hits some high notes very
Mhm.
well, and
Yeah.
like those are enough to keep you around.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah, and so they confirmed it won't be out until sometime in 2022. The coronavirus pandemic, of course, has delayed their production on that.
Right.
In other somewhat tangentially related news, Here No Time to Die may lose its release date again, which would be like the
How?
5th
How?
rescheduling of that
Wow.
movie.
Is anyone, I don't care about this movie. I don't even like.
No, I've literally
Yeah,
kind of
like-
keep forgetting about it.
Yeah, I do too. I went to the theater the other day when I saw Old last week, and I saw the poster for it. And one poster, so the poster that was framed on the wall said October, and then I go into the theater, and I was walking towards my theater, and they had the cardboard cutout promotional
Mhm.
poster, and they'd slapped a November sticker over October. And so one poster, the original one, only said October, and then they slapped the altered sticker on the other one.
That's funny.
Yeah. So if that tells you anything about the story of that
That's
movie,
insane.
I don't know what else would. So I guess that's kind of it for our news trailer talk this week. So we can get right into the Adam Schwartz's completely subjective nudist streaming list for the week of August 8th through the 14th. To Netflix, there is nothing of worthiness coming. Of course, there are things, but this is the subjective list where I determine what things are worth checking out. But then to Amazon Prime, Nathaniel, Evangelion 3.0
Mhm.
plus 1.01.
Yes.
Thrice Upon a Time.
Yes, this is true.
Exclusive streaming rights to Amazon Prime,
Which kind of sucks.
which is also confusing because Netflix has the first season. Or do they still have it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So this is the 4th movie
Yes.
of the rebuilds.
Yes.
Which I think are still
Fourth and final.
correct. Yes. So I think there may be like a rights thing where they can actually have the movies and they're considered different content to the original show. So I think that's where that kind of comes in. But yeah, very excited for this.
Yeah, I need. You have the rebuilds, right?
I do.
Man, I wish I had more time to borrow them and watch them, because I can't take them. I'll have to figure something out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to watch these. I need to watch these rebuilds.
Yeah, it's they're fascinating. They're it's a kind of a it's a reboot and a retelling in the exact same thing. I think
Yeah.
that's why they're kind of cool with the rebuild.
Do you want to kind of explain it to listeners who maybe aren't familiar with how
Yes.
the rebuilds go? Of
So I've
Evangelion. So this is Neon Genesis Evangelion. We haven't even said that yet.
yeah,
We should
sorry.
probably clarify. So Neon Genesis Evangelion is an anime that Nathaniel loved and introduced me to, and we've talked about before on the pod, but not in a while, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit.
It's been a little bit, but Yeah, why don't you explain how these rebuilds are what like the story
Yeah,
is.
so the kind of Evangelion's almost famous for more like the story of how it was made too, along with the actual story itself and how impactful that has been. But the studio originally did not have a lot of money. They were a pretty small studio, and then there was also some financial wriggling behind the scenes that was against them. So the show kind of famously ran out of money towards the end of the run of the original season. It's only one season long. And then they did a film that was also the end to the series along with it. And since then, that has been considered the core canon. But then in, I think, 2000 almost, somewhere like pretty far back, the original creator of the series decided that announced that he was going to start retelling the story, but in a series of films instead. And so the first film kind of takes up almost like the first 6 episodes, I want to say, of the series. Adam, I see you wanting to jump in there.
The first one came out in 2007.
Okay, so 2007 was when we got this film. The series is from 99, I want to say, or late 90s.
Late 90s. Sounds right.
But yeah, 2007 is when we get the first one, and that takes up basically the first 6 episodes of the series. Very faithful to those episodes, and then from the second movie, and now we've gotten the third movie also. The story does start to change a little bit, which is really interesting, and now we're finally getting the fourth and final film in the series.
Nice. How excited are you?
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back to what we're watching a little bit.
Oh, okay. Bit of sizzle.
Yeah, bit of sizzle. But yeah, I'm very,
Awesome.
very interested and very ready.
That's good to hear. I will have to figure out a way to do these rebuilds.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do any theater screenings of this, which I would totally actually go and see.
If Amazon's got it rights, I don't see them doing that.
They have their
Have
Amazon
they?
Studio arm.
Okay. Well, what have they made that's been released in theaters?
Manchester by the Sea.
Take that,
that's
you
right.
son
That's
of a
right.
bitch.
Yeah, they've got a couple. They've got a couple.
Okay.
out
Had
there.
it loaded up. Load it up.
No, that's a good point. I do remember that being produced by them. So I wasn't saying he was wrong. I was just
Yeah, no,
curious.
I'm not.
I'm
I'm not insinuating that.
my bad.
But I can see it.
It's all good. No, that was funny.
I could,
You're good.
I could even see it being like one of those Fathom deals where you
yeah,
get like
yeah.
the specialty stuff in the cinemas every now and then.
That would be awesome. Because I know it's evident by the end of
Evangelion.
that it's evident he cares about the theater people and people seeing in theaters.
That is true.
So maybe he negotiated something like that.
Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I guess we will. I'm excited for that as well because eventually I'll get around to them. Did you know this? How long did you know this was coming for? Like, when did they announce the release date for this?
The movie's been coming for like 2 years.
Okay, because I remember when I finished watching it, you told me like no one knows when this next one's going to come out.
Yeah, so even as far back as then, there may have been rumblings of when it was going to be, but then it was kind of revealed maybe the last 4 months or so, maybe that we've kind of known about this, or at least that I've known about it personally. And then the fact that it was coming to Amazon, I found out, I think it was like 3 weeks ago or something like that, overall. So
Gotcha. Cool. Well, keep a lookout for that because that'll be coming sometime this week. And then also coming to Amazon Prime, La La Land.
Oh. Which also Tyler's seen Evangelion too. Didn't participate in that discussion.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, you can jump in
No,
whenever.
I'd rather have you. This is what a master's degree gets you, folks.
It's priority airtime on Back Row Banter. It paid off, Nathaniel. You're here.
Oh God, I've made it.
I made it. Yes, sir. All right. That's going to be for Amazon Prime. Nothing coming to Hulu. To HBO Max, Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic Park 3, and then The Lost World Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's the second one.
Gotcha. So it's then all 3. That makes sense. That makes
It's
sense.
the original trilogy. I guess, is that what you would refer to that as?
Yeah. I mean, is there a fourth one before
Well,
Lost World?
No, just
Or before
it's Jurassic World.
Jurassic World? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's 1 Lost World, 3 Jurassic World.
Interesting that
Fallen Kingdom.
they decided not to do like Roman numerals.
Well, the
for
second one's the book. The second
Gotcha.
book is
So
also
they
called The
then
Lost
they just
World.
did 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for HBO Max, and then to Disney, we're getting the Marvel's What If Episode 1
Oh, that comes out this week.
this Thursday. Yeah, it comes out the 11th.
Interesting.
So this Thursday, I guess they're doing Thursdays.
How much do you think this is going to tie in with everything else? Do you think this is going to be like required viewing the way the other ones kind of have been?
I don't see it being. I don't think that was their plan for every single one of these TV
I have a
shows.
sneaky suspicion that it will still tie in tangentially, but not be.
Potentially. Isn't it I forgot the person's name, but there's like a series of alien creatures.
Oh, the Watchers.
The Watchers. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say. I think they're called the Watchers. So maybe they set up that somehow with this show because it's confirmed.
Oh,
that
yeah.
In the trailer, it's confirmed that the narrator of the show that's showing you all these alternate realities or alternate timelines is a Watcher.
Yeah, we've I don't think we've seen them in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but we
Okay.
haven't seen Earth's particular Watcher who's going to be in this and now I can't think of his name. Bernard from Westworld. Felix Leiter and
Yeah, I don't know.
James Bond. His name immediately came out of my
I
head.
can't remember.
He's going to be the new Jim Gordon.
Yes, I know. I know exactly who you're talking about. Jim.
I'm going to list other roles he has been
Yeah,
in.
keep going if you want.
He's probably in a Bourne movie at some point.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright, thank you.
Man, that was annoying. We were both just like,
Yeah, it was tip of the tongue.
yeah. So, yeah, no, I'll be excited to watch this. I think this will be good. It's good animation style. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, I really like the animation style they're going for, and I will see how much they make it important. Maybe, I mean, are these going to be considered multiverses? Do we know? Like, are they doing multiverse timelines in this,
I don't know.
or is it just like here are things?
That's been the suspicion, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how they would play that out, and maybe some of these timelines end up playing in later.
Intersecting.
Yeah, intersecting or playing
Meshing.
later into later Marvelverse stuff.
Hope so.
Yeah, we'll see. And then we're also getting Bad Batch episode 16, the finale.
Whoa.
You can finally binge them all. And give us your detailed project report.
I will
Yeah.
report back.
Okay. But you're caught up.
I think I missed last week.
Okay, so you need to watch 15.
Yeah.
Then 16.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll do, now that the last episode's out, do you think you'll just do 1 through 16 when you go down to watch it next time?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I won't watch the last one. Maybe I'll just have to wait until I binge it.
Yeah, just not watch it and then just go
Yeah.
back to
It's
1.
delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd actually be smart.
Yeah.
Because then you at least get 2 episodes at the end to look forward to.
Well, since I haven't seen the last one, I at least can watch both of them.
Mm-hmm. So
So
maybe something to think about.
maybe.
Could be.
But
Bit of
that is-
sizzle. Come
bit-
back later.
Come back. Stay tuned. Right here on WCCR Chicago. That's not a real station.
KYOT. The
K-
Coyote.
Is that? Oh no way! That's a
That's
a
a-
Phoenix thing.
Yeah, that's a smooth jazz.
Oh.
99.9. KYOT. The Coyote.
That's awesome.
I don't think the numbers are right in there, but
Sure.
that
That's
one.
the gist.
that
That's all
was-
I need.
It rhymes.
What's
Yeah.
what's the radio joke they had in Family Guy?
That's
It's like
Dingo and
something
the
in
Baby.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. Dingo and the Baby.
All right, well, that's it for the new to streaming list here. So we can just get into what we're watching. And we're at a brisk pace here, gentlemen, but I don't mind it.
No, yeah, we're rolling.
Yeah, we're rolling. I feel like this is the pace we had when we started this podcast. Because the episodes did get just absurdly longer at a certain
Yeah.
point. I think we just got better at talking, and so we didn't have to all right, moving on. Because they used to be like an hour
It's
10
true.
tops.
Yeah.
For I would say 15 episodes.
Yeah.
And then since then.
And
it's
then we
been-
just haven't shut up.
Yeah. Well, we've showed up too much.
I said
banter-
shut up.
Oh, shut up. I think you said showed up.
Both.
Yeah. Our banter has just gotten so much better. We can't contain it.
That's true. Top bants.
Nathaniel, what did you watch this past week?
Ooh, so I was thinking about this. I didn't really get to much. So I've got like a couple shows on the rotation right now too that I don't bring up every week. So it was kind of a big week for that. We started Adventure Time, or I started Adventure Time for the first
How many
time.
seasons of that are
I have
there?
no idea.
First time.
Yeah, I've never
Man.
watched it.
I was never a fan of Adventure Time.
It's very goofy and weird.
It's just not for me.
I was deep in Adventure Time.
I know a lot of people who were.
Right when it first came out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I just didn't watch that much Cartoon Network. I watched a lot of
Yeah.
it when I was younger, but then like I didn't kind of return to it after
that shit
after
grew
I
on
left.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same here.
But yeah, so I've been watching Adventure Time. It's fun. It's just super lighthearted, easy to watch. Throw on in the background. They're short episodes, so kept up with that basically. Community, watched a couple episodes, not too many. Watched more of Haikyuu, which is the volleyball anime I've got going on right now.
So you've now been reading and watching that anime?
I started watching, but the anime is 2 seasons.
I see.
And I'm already
so then
way
you
past
finished,
it.
So you finished it and then you went to the manga?
No, I just started reading the manga and just got ahead of it, like at a certain point.
I see.
And so I still got a couple episodes left, but I've also been watching it for like a couple months now. I've been coming in and out on the series.
Gotcha.
And then the other big thing I got to was the first Ava rebuild.
1.1.
Yeah, 1.11.
Oh yeah, it's 1.1. Oh my bad.
Yeah, so we talked about this already a little bit. I'm curious on what your plans are, because the Blu-rays are actually really hard to get now.
I know. But I don't think it's streaming anywhere. I think I'm still stuck.
Yeah, I thought for some reason that Amazon was supposed to get them.
Too. I thought so too, and I checked today, and I don't think they have them. Well, it's on Prime Video, but there's no wait, is it? I can just press play. It's here. It is here.
Did they
Am
just
I
put
watching
them
it right
on?
now? I don't know. I checked
Or is
earlier
that the
today.
trailer?
It might be the trailer. It is just the trailer. I swear to God, 4 minutes and
They teased you.
they got my hopes up, because I was looking earlier today to see if they're on Amazon, because I figured once those this item is currently not available to watch in your location. Maybe it's on Japanese.
Maybe you'll get a VPN.
Oh, I need one of those. Fuck.
Who knows? We'll see.
Stay tuned, listeners.
Stay tuned, listeners.
Because I really should have gotten. I didn't know this was coming. I would have gotten ahead of the game and asked to borrow your DVDs. I guess it's not too late. I guess I can binge them. How long are they?
I mean, they're full-length movies.
Oh, motherfucker.
And
We'll
I
see.
also need to watch 2 and 3
Okay,
before
yeah, that's right.
before
Okay,
this
sorry,
week.
I didn't know if you. Okay, but 1.1.
Yeah, I mean, so if you know Evangelion at all or anything like that, it is the 1.1 is basically the first 6 episodes, like I was saying before. Basic background is Shinji is the main character. He is summoned to his father's giant military unit and immediately told to get into a giant robot and fight these aliens called angels. And if it sounds pretty basic or anything like that from that point on, you are completely wrong, because it goes absolutely insane from there on out. I've talked a lot about how big of a fan I am of it. It's really, really densely packed world. Like, I don't know if I've ever come across a world that is like as filled out as Evangelion is in some ways.
We talked about it when I finished watching it, but it wastes no time.
No, it is lean,
you
mean.
You can't do the phone thing with this show.
No, you cannot.
It is how you pay attention in a movie is how you have to pay attention to this.
Yeah,
anime.
you need to have like Game of Thrones, like high-end Game of Thrones
yes,
level
yes.
of commitment, to
and,
watching.
Yes, and focus basically.
And you're not going to understand a lot of it at the start or at the first time kind of through.
Yeah, I still need to rewatch it all the way, but I've been waiting to kind of I need to take more time away from it, because it's a heavy watch.
It definitely is.
Yeah, it was at least on my first time. So I need to back away, but I think I might do the sub.
You're going to go in on the subs this time, yeah?
I might try it. It was very hard to keep up with when I tried that one episode.
Yeah, I remember, because I think we started in the subs, right?
We started as a dub, and then like 2 episodes in, I was like, can we try the sub? Because I do prefer sub. And I tried it, and I was like, this is just not it. So then we just went back to dubbed with no subtitles, because that was throwing me off. Is the translation was jarringly different.
That's right. I do remember that.
From the dub. So the subtitles were like not what they were saying, and it was just throwing me off, and I was not as enjoying it as I wanted to be.
It's definitely more esoteric in the sub, if it can be, but like it's just way more, because it's a translation and you're not getting like the tone, and there's always things that are said slightly differently.
Of course,
there's just more kind of room for interpretation, I guess, on the subtitles or on the subs side of things. Gotta use the full word. I'm such a noob. But But yeah, so the sub is definitely more kind of like, it's almost more spiritual in like the direction they go with everything. But that being said, it's definitely a really, really interesting watch overall. I would recommend it.
As we've said a million times.
Yes. Seriously. Cool. Well, I'm excited for this. At the very least, I'm excited for when I ever
Get around
once
to
I get not ever, but once I get around to them, I have all 4 to watch at least. So I would love it to be this week so I can watch when it comes out, but I don't think that's gonna be the case.
Well, hopefully it won't be going anywhere.
We'll get there eventually. All right. So what else did you watch? Is that it?
Yeah, that was really it. Like I said, I've been reading. I was talking a little bit earlier. I've been reading a lot of manga. I still got Christine on the go with Stephen King's Christine as well. I've kind of been keeping up with, and then I've been reading a lot of film stuff too. Checking out some of what my critics I think are, or what they think and what they're looking for. But
cool.
Yeah, Ty, what have you been watching?
Breaking Bad has been in the roto for a little bit.
Right.
How's it going? What watch is this for you? I think we might
For
have asked
me,
this. I think you said 3 or 4.
I think it's like I think this is like 4 or 5.
Okay. Which is honestly a lot because it was only ended in 2010.
How many seasons of that is there?
6. And then a movie.
Have you seen El Camino?
I have. But I'm going to rewatch it as soon as we're done because I don't think... Well, I know Lee hasn't seen it because she hasn't seen this. And then I saw it because it came out significantly further after the TV series.
Yeah,
so
it was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, so by the time you watch it, you're kind of like, I don't really... I got to do a refresh.
Right.
So I'm probably going to do it right after this just so I can show Leah. And then just so I can like see it immediately after.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll change.
So, we're like season 4, episode 8.
Okay.
So like halfway through the 4th season. So, but she seems
you've
to
been
be
putting
enjoying
some work
it.
in.
Yeah, yeah. Just I mean, we've been watching it for a little bit. The next thing she's trying to get me to watch is Will and Grace. I told her absolutely not. So we'll see how that fight goes. It's going to be an ongoing.
It's her turn to pick now.
I don't know if we're doing turns.
Oh, she kind of did Friends, and now
I know
you've
she
done
did,
Breaking
but
Bad.
like I don't want to do Will and Grace.
Surely you can find one that you would agree on.
I'm sure we'll find something, but I'm gonna push Will and Grace out as far as I can.
Fair enough.
So when it gets taken off I think it's on Hulu right now, and then it gets put on something else, then I'll look at it as like a sign, like I did with Friends, and then we'll watch it then. It'll come in due time.
What if it goes to Peacock?
Or Paramount Plus.
Then Peacock I think is free. So
What if they put it episode by episode back on Quibi? They bring it
No,
back
I'm
just
out.
for Will and
Nope.
Grace.
I'm pissed.
What if you can watch it vertically, man? Doesn't that change everything for you?
on your Samsung watch.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't have any of the characters in it. It's just like a peephole shot. It's just a background.
The aspect ratio is not like changed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
exactly.
Like, just like scroll around the image on your watch.
Just the watch.
That's pretty funny.
Man.
Terrible idea.
We'll give you $1 billion.
Netflix might do it. Throw all money at
that's
shit.
what they did with Quibi
Oh.
to Katzenberg.
A movie called Out of the Wire. I think it's called Out of the Wire.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's Netflix. It's with Nah, I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, we can't even go to say Ty Phil for this one because it's Ty that's looking it up.
Blake, Phil.
Oh yeah, you got a big cat fact.
I don't. So this week I took up. I've always had an interest in like raptors, right? So like birds of prey.
Okay.
Veloso.
Kind of cats.
Not velociraptors. But yeah, so I've been kind of looking at some of that stuff and trying to distinguish the difference between like eagles, hawks, and falcons and stuff. Basically, just like kind of by photos and by flight.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of a hobby of mine. I'm big into animals. So yeah, that's interesting. I've learned so far, falcons are substantially smaller, usually. Right, there are exceptions to different species of falcon. Falcons are usually the smallest, but they're usually the most swift in the air. Hawks, they usually have like a longer tail for their steering to be more accurate, right? Like while they're flying. Then eagles, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen an eagle in real life, but eagles
Yeah,
are
I
just
have.
fucking massive.
They're huge.
Yeah, I've seen a bald eagle a few times in college up in northern Minnesota. And yeah, those, and like I remember the first time I saw one, and it was just soaring, and you're just like, holy shit, what is
What the
that?
fuck
I
is
was-
that?
Yeah, because the wingspan is like fucking like
crazy.
7 feet.
Yeah,
It's
it's
massive.
crazy.
I was driving to my aunt and uncle's house, and they in Arizona. They lived like more edge of the desert
Okay.
than even like we did. And I remember you came over to their house, and you came in. It was a ranch style house, and they had a driveway to the left side of it, and you pulled around back to the back side of the house where the actual paved driveway was.
Sure.
And as I like pulled in through that backside, to the back driveway in there was a golden eagle sitting on their like fence where their dogs went
Yeah.
to go shit in the yard. And I was just like, oh my God, that's the biggest animal I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're
Like,
eagles are huge, man.
They're
you ever
so
catch them
big.
in real life?
You don't realize how big they are.
no,
Yeah.
they're like the animal equivalent of like a traffic light. Like you have no idea how big
Yeah.
it
It
is
looks
until you
goofy
see it
to be
in
a
comparison
bird. Yeah,
to
to be a
something
bird
else.
that big and fly, you're like, that looks really big.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's kind of what I've been looking into. So really interesting. Did you find
That's
your movie?
dope. I did, yeah.
Okay, that's the Phil.
It's Falcon, Anthony Mackie. I always forget his name.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But anyways, it's
I'm gonna
it's
start referring to him as the
Yeah.
Back Man.
I'm glad that went into bird talk there.
yeah.
There we go.
So
Big bird talk.
Big Bird
transition.
Blake.
So yeah, he's basically kind of like a cyborg, and he's helping out like the U.S. military. It goes off the rails. It's okay.
Was that
Yeah.
another one that was produced by the Russo brothers? I feel like there's been like a weird run of those that are like produced by the Russo brothers, starring all the Marvel people that have been showing up on Netflix. Like there was like that 17 Bridges, and then there was one with Tom Holland too, and now I feel like there was one with the without Anthony Mackie at one point. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing a conspiracy here where there is none.
I'm not sure.
No Russo credit.
All right, never mind.
So yeah,
How
that
was
was
it?
that was okay. It was fine. Obviously, did Suicide Squad, and then Leah and I finished our Twilight fiasco with Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Which I still maintain is incredible because of the spoiler alert, the dream
The dream scene,
sequence.
dude, is crazy.
I think that's awesome.
It was so cool.
I haven't seen them.
Oh man,
Maybe
spoiler
only
alert.
the first two. Blake, have you seen those?
I have not.
None of them.
Mm-mm.
Damn.
Maybe
I
we get-
encourage you to go watch.
Maybe we
them.
get one of those in the pod.
specifically with a girl.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're fine.
Okay.
They like the first one has like a weird like sentimental place in my heart too,
Yeah.
just because like that was like our age of
Yeah.
Are
when we
those
grew up and
streaming on
everything.
anything?
Yeah, I think they're all on something. What'd you watch them on?
Netflix.
Okay.
All of them.
All right.
And it's,
yeah.
I watched the first one last year. I think I talked about it on pod.
So, and the place that they film at, it's called Forks. It's
Real
it's-
town.
Yeah, it's a real place.
Okay.
Leah actually just sent me a reel, like an Instagram reel.
Oh, they get so much money from tourism from that.
Yeah, there's like signs of like, hey, this is where this was filmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Right.
and there's like actual bridges and shit, and you can go out there. And I was like, we gotta go. I'm in. I'm down. So it's
Check
really
it out.
pretty though.
Yeah, it's Washington, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'll see
So
what's up.
I think that was it. If I come across anything else, I'll let y'all know. But Blake, what you been watching?
Yeah, I got to a few things this week. For non-film wise, got back into playing some video games this week. Kind of had some downtime.
I saw you. You were on Siege.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I turned on Siege for the first time in a while. Definitely over a month. Probably 5-6 weeks. So that was cool. And then I took up on YouTube, just kind of getting outside of Siege on YouTube and watching some other games. I end up coming across a guy's page, and he has a lot of streams of him playing horror games. So I end up watching him play both Outlast last week, and I end up watching him play the first Dead Space.
Nice. They're remastering those.
Yeah, and that's what caught me because that video was relatively new, and he
Bro.
said that they're going to remaster the first one. And
I've
I
not
played
played
all
it.
three of those
Should
games.
I?
Have you played it, Blake?
He
Dead
said-
Space?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
three, he
yeah,
said.
I have.
Have you?
I've played some of it.
That game scared the shit out of me.
You,
when I was
like,
in
yeah,
seventh
finished it,
grade.
though.
You being a horror fan,
Yeah.
and it's got a very cinematic vibe to it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's one of Joe's like favorite games.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about it
Yeah.
a lot.
definitely replay it when it comes out. It's gonna be a good one.
Madison?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure it is his favorite game.
it's got to be up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that's
He's been recently addicted to Call of Duty, but
Yeah, that's
definitely
been a
up
funny
there.
storyline.
What does he usually play?
Joe.
Yeah, just single player games? Or-
Yeah,
I
Does
know
he
he
play a
dabbled
lot
in the
before?
Tomb Raiders.
Did he play a lot before? He didn't even have a
liked the
headset
Tomb
or anything.
Raider.
not
Yeah.
really. He played whenever he got like some downtime
No, I was
or
just-
something
just
like
wondering.
that. But now he's like,
Now he's in.
He's
it.
in.
now,
baby.
dude. Now he goes like, kids go to bed at 9. As soon as they're in bed, wife goes to sleep.
We're
I'm
playing.
going to play video games.
right.
That's gonna be so weird that's just gonna be our generation though. Like
Yeah.
we're going to be, or and it's already starting to happen. But there's
Yeah.
gonna be 50-year-old men that are just like casual gamers.
I'm
in their
30,
free time.
baby. I'm in.
Yeah, that was very rare when 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I would say.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Joe's got the right idea with that. Dead Space is one of my favorite games, favorite horror games, I should say, growing up. Kind of a side tangent on that. Any of you guys play? Ty's probably the only person who has. Have you played any of the Fear games?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, those were dope. He's got a few links on those as
Yep.
well, and I played all 3 of those.
Yeah.
So I think I'm about to just like binge through this guy's channel.
I definitely
now.
played the first one. I don't know if I finished the second one.
I want to say I played a bit of Fear 3.
Yeah, the third one's probably the worst one of those games.
Oh, good.
I still
You
thoroughly
dirtbag.
enjoy it. Yeah, it's not like I was shitting on you. My bad. I still thoroughly enjoy the third one though. It's good. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I got to outside of film. And then 2 movies I got to this week. One for starters for Nathaniel. I rewatched Wolf Creek.
Oh
I rewatched
yeah,
that,
man.
Friday night. It was
John
like super
Jarrett.
late. Yeah, I didn't have anything to do. I'm on Vudu, and then I found it for free. So there were some ads.
For
but it was
sure.
like 2 ads. So I was like, whatever. I'll take that L. First time I watched Wolf Creek in a while, which I don't know if have you seen Wolf Creek, Ty?
I have not.
Okay, Adam, I'm sure you have.
I've
Yeah.
not. No.
Aussie horror flick.
Yeah. And the more I watched it, I thought of Adam because I was like, I don't know if Adam would like it because
No, it's too close to high tension.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yep.
That's exactly what I thought, and I was
Then
like, I don't think
never
Adam would get a
mind.
kick out of this, but it's so good.
Yeah, you just gotta look up. You gotta look up like a clip on YouTube of like just John Jarrett in there.
I mean,
being
He plays the
creepy.
villain so good. He's
Yeah.
so like friendly.
I'm not
and
opposed
charismatic.
I'm not opposed to the
You would
home
li-
invasion.
You would like it better than High Tension. Let's not
I
get this
agree. I
wrong.
think
here.
it's a better film
You would
than High
like it
Tension.
better than High Tension,
I
but
see.
it still is that same kind of. It's that same kind of
The
gore.
early 2000s, yeah,
Yeah,
some of the
nihilistic,
same shots,
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I caught that. That's something I haven't seen in a while. And that's just kind of like a childhood horror memory I have.
Yeah, that's a good one. man.
Um,
They did a series of that with the same guy.
Real a TV show?
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty decent actually.
Is that like around that time of like 05?
No,
06,
it
or
was
is
like
that-
2 years ago.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, I might have to look into that.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 or 3 seasons. I want to say,
Okay.
and it may be on like Tubi or something
Sure.
like that.
Right. Yeah. I might have to look into that. So but yeah, that's a pretty good horror classic for anyone who's kind of into that genre. I can just add Adam's probably not really up. It's not really up his boat, but yeah, we'll see. Then outside of that, obviously, I watched The Suicide Squad on Sunday. I had a double feature at the theater with one of my friends, so I watched The Suicide
There you
first
go.
by myself. My apologies. And then my friend tagged along for the second film. He came and met me, and we watched 9 Days.
I haven't seen
This
yeah,
is
really.
this is one that they were promoting in the Green
In
Knight.
the Green
Yeah.
Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you caught the
With
trailer,
M'Baku is the main character, right?
Clark Duke.
Yeah.
I want to say his name is.
yeah, Winston Duke is in
Duke,
there
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
The Chinese gentleman from Doctor Strange and the Avengers.
Benedict
in there.
Wong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Benedict Wong.
It's called
Zazie Beetz is in there.
9 days.
yeah,
Yep,
Zazie
9
Beetz
Days.
is in that
Yeah.
too. I do want to check this out actually.
She's
Yeah,
in
this
there
looked
from
interesting.
Deadpool 2, Atlanta. Yeah, and the trailer caught me, and I was like, oh, that looks really good. And then it kind of beats
Oh,
me
I
in
do
there is
remember
really
seeing
what
this trailer.
sold me.
I didn't even
And,
know this was in theaters. Sorry,
That's
go ahead.
that's no worries, dude. That's a phenomenal movie. I thought The Green Knight was the best movie I saw this year, and I rewatched that, and I would put that movie above the.
You
Green
put
Knight.
this above the Green Knight.
Yeah,
It's
Wow.
very artistic, but the meaning is so deep. It just makes you like ponder like about life. It makes you question.
Yeah, I saw this trailer and I thought
other-
exactly that, and I was like,
yeah,
wow.
your purpose of life
kinda
and just
seems
kind of
like
how you
it's
go
up my
through
alley.
things. It makes you look at like suicide and things of that nature. It's a really good deep film though. If you've ever had like anybody battling any of those kind of demons, right, of
Sure.
suicide and life and stuff. It can kind of get close to home, but I think it's a really good movie, beautifully shot. The cast is awesome. Zazie Beetz is awesome. Winston Duke is awesome.
And I think it's the
Benedict Wong is awesome.
the director's debut or something like
Yeah,
that. From what
I
they were kind of talking
I
about,
looked him up.
the way the trailer kind of the grab lines in the trailer made it seem like it was like kind of his first.
Yeah, it's by
Interest- his or
Edson
her.
Oda.
His.
I think he's like a Korean and American or something.
Okay.
I don't know any of his films. I've kind of looked on some of his IMDb. There's nothing that rings a bell on my end. I don't know if any of this stuff is known by Nathaniel.
Probably not. I don't recognize his name.
Yeah, but that's really good. So
Cool.
I would highly encourage
I
anybody
kind of want to go see this.
it's artsy though, right? So it's probably not for everyone. Right?
Sure.
Anybody can watch them, but this is really boring. I'm not understanding it. But yeah, if you go into that with kind of an open ear and kind of open eyes, yeah, you can take some things in just terms of the meaning of life.
Woz called it a soul in a.
He did like an
yeah.
adult soul.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
live action soul.
Yeah, that's kind of very much what it is. And kind of the quick sell on that is it's these people who are they're not.
This is all in the trailer.
Yeah, right. So this is no spoilers, but it's people who are not alive. There's an opportunity for life, and they have to interview it and they have to interview for it. So there's like 5 panel interviewees.
Mm-hmm.
They go speak with the gentleman. The gentleman is Winston Duke, and he kind of goes through this interview process with all 5 of these different people to see who's going to be selected for the slot at life.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's really good and
Yeah.
makes you question a lot of things. So yeah, please check that out. I think you guys would love it. It'd be
Should
super
we do
dope.
a review for this?
I've seen it before, obviously. So I'm biased, so I would say yeah. I love it a lot, but I think all of you guys would get a kick out of it for sure. So
Yeah.
Interesting.
that's what I watched. What about Adam?
I have a shorter list this week. It was a pretty busy week where I didn't have a ton of time at night to really put something on. And when I had a chance to put something on, I went back to How I Met Your Mother, which I started a little
Okay.
bit ago. And
Sure.
I've been watching like a few episodes every now and then, but not bringing it up on what we're watching. But I just started kind of going through it again consistently as like the show I put on, because I do want to say I've watched all the way through and finished watching it. I'm still enjoying it. It's still really good. Holds up for, I mean, there's nothing that really aged that poorly. The humor still holds up. It's not necessarily like, you can tell it, later 2000s. So it's like not necessarily as modern as you can definitely tell the differences between like a dating life then and dating life now.
Oh, sure. I don't think, and How Much Mother, I don't think they actually get to a point where they're talking about dating apps or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
really.
No.
Not really. I mean, they didn't even have cell phones when that show was being made. Like, they have flip
Wow.
phones and stuff
Yeah.
when in that show.
Like
Different
that
times.
flip phones to you are not
Yeah.
cell phones.
Well, no.
No, he
I
said
said
he had a flip phone
smartphones.
before.
I said
Oh,
smartphones.
okay, I'm sorry. I
Haven't
thought
we
you said
asked
cell
that?
phones.
No, I said smartphones. What'd you say?
Have you ever owned a flip phone? I think we've asked you that before.
I had one when I remember when people had flip phones.
Okay, sure.
I remember one, but I was like a kid, so I didn't
Right. Sure,
have
yeah.
one. I was like, 5. I had to play one. I loved playing on that. I had
Yeah.
to play one. And then my first phone I got when I was 12 going into the 6th grade. It was a LG. Oh, man.
Chocolate.
No, it was like a Vivo or something like that. It was some weird name. But it
That's a Sony product.
whatever. It was something like that. And this, man. But it had a touch screen. It was like a 3-inch touch screen. It had
Okay.
buttons, like it had a back button, and a call button, and then an OK button, and then it slid up with the keyboard.
Okay.
And it was red. It was bright
I
red.
missed the
Was that the
keyboard
Envy?
on days.
Is that what it's called?
Dude, it might have been the
Envy? Yeah, I had one of those.
Hang on.
I had an LG Envy. That
No,
might
the
have-
Envy was the one that flipped. It had a screen on the front with
no, it was not.
with a like a numerical keyboard. Then you flipped it open and it had that.
Yes.
You know
I
what?
had one of those. I had an Envy too.
Dude,
Yeah, that was dope.
I think I could find this out because I think
Was
a
it this?
customer. No, it was not. It like slid open
What's
open
that
from the
called?
side.
The
It slid open
chocolate?
That's
from
the
side.
chocolate.
Oh,
That's why I was
remember
saying.
that,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's
Those are
it was
popular. A lot of
red.
people had
It's like
those.
I was like, you literally just explained the chocolate.
Yeah.
The chocolate, man.
A customer came in earlier this summer while I
had
had been
one?
working, and they had one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it the Ally?
No,
That was another one I had. An LG Ally.
I thought I saw it and I like took. A
We
picture
are
or
off the
something.
rails,
We are
folks.
way off the
We
rails.
are.
But yeah, that was my first phone. So
Nonetheless, How I Met Your Mother,
How I Met
dating
Your Mother.
apps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
I'll be
Different time
interested to
dating
see
now.
how they adapt the story and the story of dating and everything
Yeah.
to the How I Met Your Father series that they're doing now. So, but yeah, no, it's still been good. Holds up. It's been a lot of laughs. Like they do some really funny bits in that show.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's really really good. And I'm on season 5 now. And so it's still like going.
There's
strong.
still some strong episodes in there.
There's really
for sure.
no bad seasons so far. Like
Yeah.
every season's really solid. And they build up some good character dynamics. So yeah, I'm gonna keep chugging along with that, and we'll see where that goes. Some interesting cameos.
Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk. I think Bryan Cranston's in it too, and then a few others. But yeah,
There's like Britney Spears in an episode.
Britney Spears
Katy
in an
Perry
episode.
shows up at one point.
Yeah, it's a lot of weird cameos, but it's funny. That's kind of how TV was back then.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's just not so much anymore. And then the other thing I watched, which was I actually watched. I was supposed to put this on my watching for last week, and I forgot. But I watched Jungle Cruise.
Oh yeah.
We
Okay.
just rented it on
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Yeah,
How was
So-
that? Shout out.
You know,
to
it was-
in The Rock.
it was good about what you would expect. It wasn't anything like super special. It wasn't like go out and run and see this. It's one of those what you're getting with that
Sure.
trailer. So, if you're interested, you want a fun family Disney movie, or if you're a big Disney fan, or you're a big The Rock or Emily Blunt fan, like it's good. It's
I like
fun.
most of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jesse Plemons, I think that's his name,
Yes.
is in it as the villain. So I love him.
Yeah,
Anytime
he's
I get to
awesome.
see him, I'm like, cool. But yeah, it's actually there's some good humor in there. Definitely some good humor, and I love The Rock and I love Emily Blunt, so this was really fun to see him. So we kind of have some fun. in
Yeah,
this
I
one.
do want to check that out at some point still.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll check it out when it's free.
yeah, it'll be free eventually, but my
You
my
have
family
A
will
list.
watch
You
it.
can go see it.
Check it out when it's free.
It's free right now for you.
Is this the phone you're looking for?
You're still looking. No, it slid open from the side.
Oh, it was a side slide.
It was a side slide.
Well, this has a big back and a
Pretty sure it
big
was
center
like
button.
The
And
vibe.
Maybe it was a touch too. I don't know.
all right, we're way out.
Was there
All right.
juke?
I thought
No, the Juke was the one that was the switchblade one.
Yeah, it was like went up like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It was the MP.
the one that was in Iron Man.
No, that's a different
found
one.
it. I found
That's the
it.
one that went like portrait to horizontal. The Juke was like a real thin one. That
It was
like,
an LG expression. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Expression.
There you go.
I hate this
I
game.
didn't have that one, man.
Viewers, if you want to take a look at my first phone ever, you can look up LG expression and you'll find it.
I wish they still made red phones.
Yeah, iPhone 12 you can get red.
Can you really?
Yeah, bright red. Product,
Not a Max though, right?
not a Max,
Yeah,
no,
that's
just the
what I
iPhone 12. So
Yeah, there's a good argument that iPhones killed phone design for forever.
For sure. I'm
yeah.
unfortunately an iPhone sheep, where it probably doesn't matter.
I will
what they
never
put
get
out.
off.
But
iPhone.
even if
They
you-
have me.
Purchase
Even
another
if you
iPhone.
go with an Android or any other type of phone, it's still just a giant screen at this point.
Right.
Oh, it's a huge.
Like that's
screen.
just
Camera
it.
on the back.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
No
Yeah.
buttons.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah. Volume on the side, and that's it.
But do I need anything else? Like
You really don't.
No, you don't. You don't. But you know,
Apple, just because Apple like went
I'm still
that
allowed
way,
to mourn.
Rest in peace, the headphone jack.
Buttons, hang up button.
Yeah. Rest
Remember
in
you
peace,
used to be
design.
able to hang up the phone and like close it.
Dude, that's why.
was
That's the
fucking
only
fun.
reason I would want a Galaxy Z Flip is to just fucking slam
Yeah.
that shit shut. That's so satisfying. I really am sorry that I missed out on that time and
You never got to experience
Time and
the
place.
ones that like the button flipped down, but it had like a button to actually do it. So you got to. It was a mechanical opening too. That was a good time.
like you just pressed a button and it flipped
Yeah.
open like a switchblade almost.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Or like, or
Wow.
it flipped down. Like the
Ah.
receiver flipped down, like the Matrix ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're definitely going like 08 through like 2011. You
They
know?
have-
Probably prior to that.
They have these flips,
Yeah.
man. They have the Razor and they have the
That's
Z
true.
Flip. They're viable options.
Let me know when they have the Crazer back. Shout out, Luke
underrated
Rich.
phone.
The
Very
Crazer?
underrated phone. Everyone had the Razor.
it was
so
a
you had the
Razor,
Razor, but it was thinner.
Yeah, it was thinner and it
and-
slid
and
up.
longer. Yeah.
Interesting.
I want the Sidekick back.
That was an awesome phone too.
Sidekick was dope.
All right, that's been phone talk.
That's been phone talk. Yeah. So that's been it.
What's the main segment then, man?
I've also watched The Suicide Squad. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the review segment here on Back Row Banter. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, can you give him a rundown of a review segment here?
We sure can. So basically here on Back Row Banter, the review segment is broken up into two main parts. It is the non-spoilers and then the spoiler section. In the non-spoilers, we get to talk about, the basis of the film, its IMDb page, go through its IMDb summary, who's in it, who directed it, all that good stuff. We'll all go around, give our general opinion, then we got to give a yes or no. Do we recommend this movie? There is no nuance on the internet. From then on, it's going to be spoiler time, as that title probably indicates. We will spoil that movie, talk about the rest of the plot, any big reveals or anything like that, kind of give our deeper thoughts, and then we will welcome everybody back, so don't leave us. Please don't. And, sorry, threw myself off there. Please come back and listen to where it ranks on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything that we've watched on the pod, ranked. Adam, take us away.
This is The Suicide Squad. Emphasis on the reverse Facebook, of course, adding the differentiating it from the Suicide Squad of what, 2016?
2016.
Oh man, that feels so far like long ago, but it really,
I mean, it's 5 years ago.
5
bro.
years,
years,
yeah.
man.
Say it out loud.
yeah, it does. It's just like Suicide Squad could have come out last year, and it's kind of what it feels like. I
You
don't
were
know.
16, man.
Shoot out, yeah,
It's
Man.
good math.
Yeah, that's great math.
Crazy, right?
And I just renewed my license, so funny how that comes back around. That was that was actually the first time in the DMV since I got my license.
Oh,
5
there you
years.
go.
Yeah, there you go. Well, anyway, this is The Suicide Squad.
This has been the reminiscence episode.
Yeah, for real, man. We're going back, but we got the time for it. Anyway, The Suicide Squad 2021, R rating with a runtime of 2 hours and 12 minutes. And it was you definitely noticed it, but I was never mad about it. I was never like I wanted this to be over. So, and if any movie over 2 hours that can do that, that's good. That's a
I
good
agree.
sign.
Paced
Yeah.
very well.
Yes, I definitely agree. Directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, starring Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, Michael Rooker, Viola Davis, Nathan Fillion. Who else we got here? Jai Courtney, man, Pete Davidson's in this.
A who's who.
Man, that's an even longer list here.
A coterie of a cast.
So you got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. You got Idris Elba as Bloodsport. John Cena as Peacemaker. Joel Kinnaman as Colonel Rick Flag. Viola Davis.
Sylvester
is
Stallone.
Amanda Waller.
Voice of Sylvester Stallone.
Where is he?
He's King Shark.
King Shark. What I forgot what the actual name of him was.
Nanue.
Nanue. Sure.
Our old
Hand.
podcast friend. Our old podcast friend, David Dalsmalchian, is in
Yes,
this.
David Dalsmalch in front of the pod. Yeah, there's a lot of people in this.
Oh, yeah, big cast.
Big cast, huge
Ensemble.
cast. So that's why I was just like a long list. So if you want to, actually take a look at who's in this, go ahead and just check out the IMDb,
Which we always encourage.
of course. But the IMDb summary reads as follows. Supervillains Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and a collection of nutty cons at Belle Reve Prison join the super secret, super shady Task Force X as they are dropped off at the remote enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese.
Pretty good.
How is that? That was pronounced like 3 or 4 different ways in this movie.
Well, people say things differently.
I guess
but I'm
so.
with you. Yeah.
Good IMDb summary.
Yeah, I think as far as those go.
Yeah. So non-spoiler thoughts here. I'm gonna toss it over to Nathaniel first to kick off.
So, yeah, I had a kind of weird experience with this one.
Now, did you see this in theaters or did you watch it on HBO Max?
I've actually done both.
You've done
So
both.
I saw it in theaters the first time, and then I watched it again on HBO Max yesterday, I want to say.
Okay. How was it on second watch?
So I definitely liked it better on the second watch, and I think part of the reason for that is when I went into the theater, I sat down, and you do the scan of who's like kind of around you, and I looked immediately to my left, and there was like had to be north of 70-year-old woman sitting right next to me, and I just knew going in that it was a James Gunn movie, and it was clear like she had been brought with her grandchildren. And I was just like, oh no, she's going to hate this.
You couldn't move over at all?
I could have, but like it was full enough that I would have been like on someone else, and I was still waiting for Waz to get there and everything, and
Okay.
I was just like, oh man. And then the first scene in this movie came on, and I just heard it went, aw. And I was like, oh no. So then the rest of the film, I was just thinking about like, what is this lady thinking the whole
Okay,
time? And I felt like I
right.
couldn't
That's
really like
awesome.
sink into it
That's
as
hilarious,
much as
though,
I wanted
honestly.
to.
She saw I almost spoiled alert, so never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so Yeah, so initially I liked it, but then on the rewatch I liked it a lot more and really enjoyed it overall. But which I'm sure I'll talk about a little bit. But I found it funny. I thought it was action. It reminded me, if I had something to like describe it to, is like the first Kingsman. It really reminded me a lot of that in terms of like tone and overall like violence levels and everything that's going on with that. Kind of wacky a little bit too. And I love that movie. I had a really good time with this one.
Cool. Blake?
Yeah, I'll follow up. I liked it.
Did you see this in theaters?
I did. Saw it in theaters Sunday. I actually thoroughly liked it, to be honest. James Gunn's a good director, though. So, I mean, I went in kind of expecting that. I knew 100,000% it would be better than the monster they put on film in 2016.
Yeah, it would have been hard to be worse than that.
So I'm like, okay, let's see what we got going on here. And probably about 30, 40 minutes in, I'm like, hey, I'm sold. I like Idris Elba. The cast is good. It's always nice to see Margot Robbie again.
What were your hype levels going into it? Because I was actually had pretty high expectations for this.
I wasn't super hyped at all.
No, okay.
No. But I came out liking it, so I think that says a lot.
Yeah, met and exceeded your expectations.
So
that's good.
Yeah, that's kind of my brief pre-spoiler. So yeah, I'd recommend.
Where's it on your ranking of DC movies?
Funny you ask, my brother. I'd say second behind Man of Steel.
Okay,
Let's go.
high praise.
That's pretty good.
Adam?
Yeah, I watched this on HBO Max. I didn't get to go see it in the theater. I was just busy over the weekend, and then I had a chance to go see it last night, and I was just so tired after work. I was like, no chance.
Fair enough.
So, me and Papa Schwartz watched on the good old OLED.
Okay.
Got to see Papa Schwartz again this week. Shout out Papa Schwartz.
So shout out Papa Schwartz, yeah.
Shout out.
So we watched it on my OLED, and I had a good time with it. It was fun. It wasn't like, it didn't blow me out of the water in any way, really. But it was, compared to a lot of the DC movies we've had recently, it was very,
That's
very
the
good.
key. Right.
And so, especially compared to the last Suicide Squad, James Gunn is perfect for this. And I think his experience in Guardians kind of shows here, and I think he was able to change the tone of it enough for DC. And he nailed it. Like he didn't. It's not too Marvel. It's not the same humor that we're used to.
No, yeah, it's definitely strikes a different enough tone that there's no kind of like crossover.
Yeah, there's no overlap.
Contamination.
Yeah, there's no overlap or contamination is a good word for it too. Yeah. So I think it's very good on its own. It can serve as more of this kind of series can serve as more of DC's Guardians, where they have something a little bit more comedic. I mean, because the MCU is comedic, but like that's their comedic group.
Do you think you would like this more had you not seen Deadpool?
That's a great question, because I was thinking about this and how this movie would be different if they could break the fourth wall, or at least certain characters could. Maybe
Harley probably would.
That's what I was about to say, is Harley, because she does. My main exposure to Harley Quinn is through the Arkham Asylum games.
Okay.
The Arkham games.
Right.
And so
You got to watch the series, dude. I didn't mean to interrupt that.
You're fine. No, you should. Yeah, I should definitely get to it. But in that, that game, it's like they play with the camera a lot, and she kind of talks to you as like almost. It's like she's taunting you as a player. I mean, obviously that's her persona, but like imagine if that was the kind of Harley Quinn we got in this movie. Because I do like.
Have you
Margot
seen
Robbie's.
Birds of Prey?
I've not actually. No.
Okay, well, she definitely dresses the camera in Birds of Prey.
Does she?
Points, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm not sure why.
I'm pretty sure, at least.
Okay.
I could have sworn she does.
I think so.
That's great, because I should maybe check that out. But I wish we got that in there. Okay, cool. Then maybe I should check that out, because I haven't. I didn't know that, but why not do that?
Yeah,
here?
it would have fit.
Yeah,
into that.
it would have fit if she, and especially it would be. I wouldn't mind it if she was like the only one that did it.
Yeah,
they don't need to make everyone do it.
Weirdly enough, I don't know if I see James Gunn doing that. Maybe, but
Yeah, that I.
But then again, I think about it. He very easily could have done that before in a movie too.
I feel like Taika Waititi would have.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nathaniel's got a good point in terms of how much you'd like this if Deadpool didn't exist, because this is literally like the Avengers meets Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beats Logan.
Yeah, like you get the gore, you get
the
funny
Task
jokes.
Force X scene from Deadpool too kept coming back into my mind at certain points.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think it matches those for me.
Absolutely.
At least.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's
Bit of
on
sizzle.
par to those kind of superhero comedy movies for sure. But
Ty?
I'm a recommend. But yeah, Ty.
Well, you guys pretty much said everything. No, it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Humor was on point. I honestly was not expecting as much gore.
As there was.
Yeah.
I wasn't either.
I was.
But
I had a sneaky suspicion.
but I was pleasantly surprised. So Leah was not.
Haven't you guys seen Slither?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay.
I have, of course.
Yeah.
Is that James Gunn?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes. That,
Yeah, I was like, if you knew that was James Gunn, then this lines up.
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, they acted really well, written really well. You really like to love all the characters on here. They definitely kind of give you a little 1-2 punch in the beginning, and then you're kind of pulled in, and
It's off to the races.
Yeah,
as
and
soon as this thing starts
they,
going.
they lock that little click bar in on the roller coaster, and you're gone.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a blast. I actually like it. I probably will get around to it sooner rather than later again. Just to go back to, but yeah, I'm a recommend.
Did you see it in theaters?
No, I actually saw it on
It's an
HBO.
Max.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Where
Yeah.
do you put it on your DCEU rankings?
I don't know. I'd have to go look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better than the first one, obviously. But you guys know I got a soft spot for the first one.
True.
So,
I don't understand why, but okay.
but I was hyped going into this, and
Okay.
I was hyped leaving.
Standouts for the folks. Any characters that you were really enjoying on this one?
John Cena was funny as shit.
Yeah. He is.
I think the dynamic between John Cena and Idris Elba is really great, and
It is, yeah,
you'll
yeah.
get to kind of
It's
see that.
Crazy to me how Bloodsport, who it's not really a spoiler to say, has basically the exact same character
As
arc
Will Smith.
as Will Smith.
Yeah.
Just how much more you care about him than you do
Yeah.
ever about Will Smith's Deadshot in the first one.
Yeah.
So they brought in some really good things that I thoroughly enjoy in other parts of the DC universe, and we
Yeah.
can definitely touch on that. And so yeah,
Yeah. Standout for me is probably what is it? Is it the Nawe? Is that
Yeah,
his
King
name?
dude,
Shark,
I was about
yeah.
to say King Shark is my standout.
Yeah.
It was he was so funny. You cared about him. Honestly, he was the character I cared about the
Yeah.
most.
As you
Really?
can see,
Oh, 100%.
with
You have
I
not.
just-
You haven't watched the Harley Quinn
you
series
have
yet.
right. You have to.
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if I care about him the most. I would say he's my favorite. Similar to, I mean, you can just see how James Gunn is able to address that the same way he's able to address Groot. in
Yeah,
Guardians
yeah,
of the
100%.
Galaxy, right? And I loved Groot with Guardians of the Galaxy. I have like a plush Groot, like
That's a
two-foot
great.
Groot,
Yeah, that's a great
baby
comparison.
Groot. So yeah, that's just kind of why it was really easy for me to connect. But yeah, I like this movie through and through for sure.
Ratcatcher 2 for me was my
Yeah.
Really?
my
Yeah, she
standout.
was up there.
I really liked her in this.
Yeah.
Is that
Um,
an accent of hers, or is she?
I'm pretty sure.
I saw there's some extras on HBO Max that I went through, and she had an accent in the extras
Okay.
when she's like playing.
Right. I
You
think she
should
might
just
be
talk about it.
Portuguese, which
Sure.
is
Could
what
be.
her character is in this, but I don't know off the top
Yeah,
of
I
my
don't
head.
either.
I actually really like Joel Kinnaman in this one, too. Rick Flag.
He's better in this one than he is in the first one. I still don't know if I love him.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him in this. I thought he had a really nice charisma about him. I bought him as the leader, and I bought as the only one in the Suicide Squad who's not forced to be there, which again we know from the 2016 Suicide Squad.
Right.
I thought he had a kind of a nice relationship with the Suicide Squad and his team members and stuff.
Yeah, something I do appreciate that they don't really treat this as like a reboot or
Yeah, it's kinda like-
kind of a reboot sequel.
Yeah, it's almost like Jurassic World to like Jurassic Park in some ways. It's like if you've seen it, you know.
Yeah, and they do enough of explaining
That's a bad comparison.
that you need. Yeah, I was about to say, but
No, it was. You can
it was
you
all
can
right.
call me.
It
on
was
that.
all right. But like you don't have to see the first one to necessarily understand what's going on in this one. But they don't treat you stupid if you have seen the first one. Like,
Correct.
They don't re-explain a lot of stuff. But you're fine if you don't see the first one. So and then they hit that perfectly. That's what they needed to do, because there are going to be people who saw the first one and want to check this one out and
Yeah.
are superhero fans and will do that, and they don't need to be retaught the same things. And then there are people who will be checking this out for the first time because they didn't see the first one. They thought they heard this one's good, and it's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good thing that I think they definitely accomplished. So if that's a thing that maybe was holding you back, listener, I think you'd be
there's
all
some-
good to just give it a rip.
There's some fear of that because it did not perform particularly well at the box office.
Not
This
as good
last
as they were
week.
hoping.
Yeah,
But I'm sure the HBO Max numbers will be up.
hope so.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's R-rated, so like you automatically cut out a large part of the superhero viewing audience.
That's true. All right, well, I think that's going to be it for our non-spoiler segment here. If you have not seen The Suicide Squad and you do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead and check the episode description where I have put the timestamp you can jump to, where you'll be taken to our ranking up upon the Entropy list.
Hop upon.
Spoilers. That was
Caught me slipping there, folks.
delayed spoilers this week. Hope. Make that a soundbite. Put it on the keyboard.
Tim
Shit.
Allen's.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes down.
Immediately.
Yeah, that was a very quick turnaround there.
Yeah.
It was
And,
like, oh, Pete Davidson did this. Oh, his face is torn off.
Love
So
it.
when I saw Pete Davidson, I was like, oh, they got Tyler's guy in here and they killed him. I'm like, Tyler's going to fucking love this
Yeah.
movie. As soon as his face got blown off. I knew that. And then the quick spoiler alert when you were saying that you had the older
Yeah, the
Florence
bird,
Nancy.
man.
I was like, yeah, she saw the bird get clipped and she's like, I'm fucking done with
She
this.
literally just went, aw.
Yeah. Even like the animal lover in me too was kind of
man.
like, I think they're going to kill the bird.
Oh,
Oh, as soon as he
yeah,
landed,
as
I was
soon
like,
as-
the bird's dead. The bird's dead.
Dead.
So yeah, pretty much everyone's dead pretty quick, huh?
Everyone, I don't know if I necessarily expect. I knew there was going to be something like that happening. I just
Yeah.
didn't expect it to be that fast.
Yes.
I didn't expect them to just do like
Where
5
he
characters
goes
gone.
a little Tarantino-y with this, with the kind
Yeah.
of non-linear time
Yeah.
that kind of goes through.
It confused my dad for a second. It confused me for a second because I was like, wait, what? And then I realized it was probably just a flashback.
Was that because of the title cards, the way that it said 3 days later within like
On the toilet seat?
On the toilet seat.
Because Leah
yeah.
didn't catch that
I
either.
didn't
Or
catch
3
it.
days earlier. Yeah, so when
I barely caught. I think I caught that. My dad didn't.
when Bloodsport is wiping the toilet seat, like his first introduction, it says 3 days earlier in the soap.
I figured we just missed something like
On
that
the-
because I
on
saw
the
the
toilet.
now. We saw the now on the
Yeah,
beach, and then I was like, oh, that just
Operation
must have
Harley
been a
Quinn,
flashback.
Operation
Which-
Jotunheim.
Those were so good.
Oh yeah, they're
I
awesome.
loved them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a motif that shows up a couple different times
Yep.
in the movie, and it's really cool. I liked how they did that.
I did too. Yeah, it's very stylized. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
there are not a lot of movies do that kind of thing, but it's fun and it works.
Yeah, well, it's interesting in like a comparison to Avengers, which typically just does giant words on the screen, where it'll just say
Locations like
Yeah.
Singapore,
New York,
Seoul,
yeah. Jotunheim.
Verdansk. Yeah. So that was fun. I definitely enjoyed that part. That opening sequence is brutally gory.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
And-
when I knew I was in for a ride.
And I was like,
after
all
that.
right, I guess this is what we're going for.
And Leah tapped out at what point?
Right away.
as soon as Pete's face came off.
It was Pete Face, and then I saw it again in here. I totally forgot about it. When Boomerang throws it, and the dude's head like melts
cuts
off.
it cuts the guy's head.
She
She
was
is
like,
like,
oh
no.
my God.
So Boomerang maybe bummed me out. It was probably the
Yeah.
death that bummed me out the most, because he's like one of the only things I liked about Suicide Squad 2016.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course they have they have to have someone die by their head exploding to prove that she's serious.
Yes.
You know?
Of
Yep.
course.
So when he actually started swimming away, I was like, he's not actually going to
Well,
turn back.
and it's another one of those things of like James Gunn has guys that he works with over and over again. Michael Rooker is definitely one of those people.
Love Michael Rooker. I just wish he had a better role in the DC
Yeah.
universe.
Obviously, his brother Sean Gunn shows up in all of his
Weasel.
stuff. Yeah, and then he's
Yep.
Calendar Man in this as
Yep.
well.
His brother Norman Reedus.
His brother Sean Gunn.
Oh. Walking Dead reference.
Did I miss something there? Oh,
He's talking about.
I was talking about James Gunn. You were
Yep.
going with Michael Rooker.
Yep.
Got it.
My bad. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I need someone else can take it up here. Blake, what'd you particularly enjoy about this one?
I would say the pacing, like you said, it was long, but honestly,
It
you
moves
don't know
really
it.
well. Yeah, you definitely.
It's not
don't
that
notice.
long because you don't notice it. So I was kind of fine with sitting through that. It's really good to be kind of back with these characters. I did like, and I'm so bad with the names. I forgot what's the villain's name.
Starro?
Yeah,
Starro.
Starro the Conqueror.
Starro the
Yeah.
Conqueror.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, big thing we haven't talked about, Starro's in
Yeah,
Starro.
so I'm not that familiar with any of the comics. Like, that was really cool to me to see. Then have like when he has like kind of like the mini replicas come out, those things looked incredibly like face huggers to me. That whole sequence. That's kind of the first thing I thought of. So I was like, okay, I'm sold on that. That's cool.
That felt like to me it felt very zombie-esque, and I was like, this is probably the closest we'll get to zombies in a superhero movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
Well, there are there's a pretty famous What If run that is the Marvel Universe zombies, and I think we're actually going to get Marvel zombies
That'd be awesome.
in the What If series.
That would be cool.
But yeah, Starro, if I'm not mistaken, Tyler, you probably know better than me on this one, was the Justice League's first official villain.
Yeah, it was like their first big official villain.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I think James wanted to go to this, which I think is really cool.
Right.
But yeah, he was announced in like 1960.
Right, and he was literally
Okay.
just a giant starfish with
Yeah.
an eye on him, basically.
Okay,
Yep.
right.
Now, I want to share a bit of information that I overheard from my dad watching a YouTube video after we watched this movie. Of it kind of
Okay.
explained a little bit. And I don't want to take credit for this, and I don't know the YouTube video, so I can't really give him credit. But the guy was saying,
Mr. Sunday movies.
whatever it was, the guy was saying that Starro he kind of controls Superman and that's how he becomes Dark Superman.
Oh.
And James Gunn might have wanted to do something like that, but they couldn't make him the main villain for this one because they just had that bad Justice League thing where he turns dark,
sure.
and so they don't think this was just speculation, but they probably think Warner Bros. Is like, let's not make
Absolutely
Superman,
Right.
let's not have that be a thing again. So that's obviously why we got a little bit different take on Starro, but it was cool to see him, and I love the kaiju line.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
that was-
freaking
yeah.
kaiju.
We had a kaiju situation or something like
Yeah.
that. So that was
caught
good.
that.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's Steve Agee, who is the
I
on-set.
recognize him somewhere.
Yeah, he's the on-set stand-in for King Shark as well.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. King Shark definitely did the fucking best part of this movie.
Yeah.
That's so
New
funny.
dumb friends. Yeah. Like, you just care about him so much. And I never even processed or thought about the Groot thing, but that's such an apt comparison because he's
Oh,
basically
yeah.
the same kind of character. But I think he has even more personality, and it makes you care about him more.
Mhm.
It was a lot of fun. Favorite characters?
Yeah, I really liked Ratcatcher too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we already
Yeah.
kind of did that. But
And Sebastian.
Yeah,
the little rat she has.
Sebastian.
That
I
was
was trying
fun.
to figure out his name the whole time because he has an S.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, what is it? I was like, is it Sam, Steve?
Yeah.
And then finally, when she's running away from Peacemaker,
Yeah.
and she's like, come on, Sebastian. I was like, Sebastian. That's
Yeah.
his name.
I think James Gunn does characters so well in this, and I
Mhm.
think that's part of why he's so perfect for this, because every character you kind of get enough what you need to know about them, and you get enough to care about each one, kind of, and like have a reason to root for them.
And it's not in a bar.
And it's not in a bar, and it's not, and I was also going to say they give backstory in a way that's not a, flash sequence montage in the first 10 minutes of the movie that has extremely fast text that no one can read. and so you actually know who these characters are, and he does both of them so well. He doesn't give any character too much of, besides, like Sub was kind of the main one. They don't overdo any of the characters' backstories. You get enough, and you care about them, and I think they're all pretty fun and unique. I love how Polka Dot he keeps seeing his mom everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
do you
Unreal.
think was that supposed to be some kind of like that's actually how he sees things? Like that's part of his condition? 'Cause I don't know if that was.
It seems like
Potentially.
it seemed like
Potentially.
because he says I pretend that everyone is my mom at some
Yeah,
point. So
but-
I think it's almost like it's intermittent.
Okay.
It just shows up
Yeah.
every now and then when like his emotions are heightened or
Gotcha.
something.
That would
Yeah.
make sense. Okay. But yeah, that I think he just did characters really well in this.
Yeah, I like for example Harley. We don't have to go into her backstory again. We just have her as an established character, and like you don't get the. It is just so weird the comparison between the two movies. Like even in just like the Task Force X team in Suicide Squad 1 was just nobodies, and here they're like this weird bureaucratic like team. Like everyone has worked in an office building or something like that team where like Weasel jumps into the water and drowns. And they're like, did no one check
one
that? It's like, yeah, of course that would happen.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a great beat.
it's just these random 5 randos that they got here trying to control people's lives, and they don't give a shit about any of them.
Mhm. Yeah, man, it's definitely a fun time. Ty, what did you kind of particularly take away from this one?
I like the fact that you could have put in this scene in Birds of Prey, or you could have taken this scene out of Birds of Prey.
The
Yeah.
scene, of course,
this
is
is the
Margot Robbie breaking out with
Yep.
the javelin.
Good scene,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I like the relationship that she has with the javelin. I think it's incredibly hilarious. She's like, what? What am I supposed to do?
She's awesome.
She's great. Yeah, I love her as that character. So she does an incredible job.
Do you guys like her, Margot Robbie?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think she's great.
absolutely.
I think so too.
Do you remember when when's the first one of this 2016 when
Mhm.
there was a huge just wave of women being
Yes.
Harley Quinn
Oh,
for
yeah.
Halloween?
Cosplays, man.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
Crazy
It's still
time.
going on. She brought a lot of hype back to that character. And Harley Quinn's a huge character in the comics.
And she's awesome too.
Well,
she's a
yeah,
great
sure.
character.
created for the Batman series.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it literally came from a TV show.
So yeah, she's great. I'm glad that she's the one that really gets to kind of represent that character. She does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Ratatouille line in here. Shout out Disney. It's absolutely hilarious. I really like John Cena in this.
Dude, yeah, he's great.
I think he did an awesome job. I think he's kind of like that cocky asshole in real life, and I think it plays out perfectly in this. And the fact that him and Idris Elba get to have a pissing contest as they kill a bunch of freedom fighters and they don't know it is
Dude,
fucking hilarious.
When we had that scene back up as we're recording and watching, I was like, this scene plays so much different once you know that.
Yeah, no, it's so dark.
Now it's so brutal to watch. I was watching that back. I was like, oh, this is so sad.
I think it's funny because you kind of start like thinking about it like halfway through because like there's a lady just like washing dishes and you're like
Yeah.
why would he just shoot her in the face
And
like
it's
that?
not like military barracks. It's like
There's
tense.
there's definitely like a pretty like anti-American imperialist reading of this film.
Oh yeah.
That it does not shy away from
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
and
I
like
saw. Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut
oh
you off.
no, I was just saying like how we just go into places and kill a bunch of people and who knows, freedom fighters, enemies.
right, doesn't
it's
matter.
just kind
we
of
just kind of went in there. I mean, they even say it, stupid Americans.
Right.
Yeah.
And but I like that that's that even immediately like that's written in there that like that is that layer to it of this Suicide Squad just sitting in there. They're a bunch of idiots. They're
Right.
just a wrecking ball basically, and that there's people in the middle of it too.
Yeah, I saw a funny meme on the internet of the Suicide Squad, and it was like the film villain, and then it's Starro the Conqueror. Then it's like the actual villain. It's like the American flag. So yeah, it was just funny because obviously America's kind of hand in it, and it's just funny the older you get and the more you see like how things are handled like on a government level, the more you're like that probably would be the case like, in real life. Yeah. So yeah, and RP Milton.
Yeah, that was really great.
bit.
It's great too that he is actually in the background.
Yeah, 100%. Like the whole movie.
Yeah.
And you genuinely forget about him too.
And then Harley Quinn calls Idris Elba
Milton
Milton
afterwards.
He's
Of
like,
course
that's not
I'm
my
your friend,
name.
Milton.
James Gunn does such a good job in this in saving lines that would otherwise be schmaltzy with a just nice either undercut joke or a joke that is or a sense of understatement, I should say. And like there's a bit later when like Ratcatcher 2 is saying something like I think it's the lines like the city is theirs or whatever with the rats and like Idris was like just maybe not now or something like that. He throws some he lets people be quippy who are quippy, but he doesn't necessarily like not everything's a joke machine, which I think is a good balance.
He doesn't really overdo it.
Yeah. Overall, like I said, I was kind of lukewarm on it coming out of my first thing. I think we're all being pretty positive on this.
Yeah, man.
Overall. But on the second rewatch, I definitely had a better time with it overall.
Yeah. I also want to mention, we talked a little bit about it earlier. David Dastmalchian, this is probably the biggest role I think we've seen him in, at least in like a mainstream movie like this. I don't know if Nathaniel, if you've seen any of his other stuff where he maybe takes on a lead role.
No, not really. He generally kind of plays the a character in the background.
Yeah, and he's
like
had some bigger roles. Like
he works a lot with Denny V.
Yeah, Denny V. He's in a bunch of those. Like he hasn't done necessarily small things
in
but
Marvel and DC now too.
Yeah, so but like this is like I said, I think he has the most lines in this and plays the biggest part in this of anything I've seen him in.
Yeah.
And he's great. He handles it well, and I hope he gets more in the future. I think we've said that before.
Yeah,
but I hope he gets some kind of lead role.
Beautiful shot.
Time.
The Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, and I really liked Idris Elba in this too. To be honest with you,
yeah.
I liked everyone was cast really well. I do wish we got a little bit more time with the Squad 1
I do
team.
too. I was a little disappointed that the core characters we had through most of this movie was a little smaller than I would have hoped. I kind of wish we had more, but at the same time, if we had more, we probably wouldn't have gotten characters that we cared about that much. Yeah. We had to kind of distribute that, so it would have been a little hard.
What did you think of the detachable kid, Nathan Fillion?
Oh my god,
with the arms.
He's so
That was funny.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
And then when they're
when they're shooting out of each,
he's on the ground going crazy.
It's so funny because in the beginning you said Nathan Fillion, and I was like, who the fuck was he? And then I looked it up, and he's TDK, and I was like, that's so much funnier now.
He's also always a guy that works with James Gunn. He's in pretty much all of his movies. As well.
Yeah. This was good. This was a good time. Tyler, would you say this? You're the biggest fan of the original one. Would you say you like this more?
Yeah. I'd be stupid not to.
Okay. Just making sure. Because that would have been slander.
Also, when they go and find the lab here, that's some great body horror that they have in
it's
as
phenomenal.
well. And even when Dolph Malchian, he's been infected with the polka dots, and it cuts to like him later, and he's all bulbous. And he's like,
throwing up.
That's a rash. You're gonna go with that.
Yeah, some really, really good witty banter going back and forth between all the characters here. I'm a big fan of the direction that this all went.
I want a Rat Master and Nanaway movie.
A team up.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
To me, they're Rocket and Groot. Now that you kind of did that.
Now that you're going with the Guardians of the Galaxy
if you want to make
comparison.
that, they're Rocket and Groot to me, and I think they're both great. Or just maybe give me a King Shark movie. That's all I want.
It's one of those things where now in my head the main frame of reference I have for King Shark is the one from the Harley Quinn series.
Okay.
And
is he similar in
they
nature?
look very similar. They are very different personalities.
They're incredibly different.
Yeah.
But I think that's another thing why I like him so much more in this, though, because they literally took that from
like the
Harley Quinn, the design.
Yeah, the design.
And I don't know how you can't, because it's easily the best iteration I've seen of him by far.
I did read something that James Gunn he originally wanted to do the Hammerhead version of King Shark.
That would be
okay. That'd be cool.
But he was saying like it's too kind of tough because the eyes are on the outside. It's too tough for the actors to kind of act with it as well, and for it to, and for the model to kind of emote and give you kind of the things.
It doesn't have like the standard like human face.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly. So. Yeah.
He's so funny,
yeah, this
man.
scene is funny too.
So this is the scene we're watching where he makes the bomb kind of look like Peacemaker.
That's actually very nice.
Yeah. John Cena's great, man. They're all just so good. Like this.
Yeah, man. The costume design is really good
costume
too.
Design's cool too. Yeah.
They're doing the Peacemaker series. That's why he survived at the end of it. Yeah, James Gunn said he enjoyed writing him so much that he wanted to do a series off of him as well.
Gotcha.
I love how they just leave him. He just like wanders around.
He's like you lose your kid in the mall.
Yeah.
Nom nom.
No.
Nom nom.
So good, man.
Also, the way Starro dies is horrifying.
Yeah.
Full too fast, too
man.
furious.
And then he gets that line. He was just like, I was just happy gazing
that
at
was
the
a good line,
stars,
though.
and I was like, damn.
That was a good line.
Because he was just captured. Like he didn't obviously.
Well, he was just floating through space
Yeah,
and
he was
then
just
Chilling, man, minding my own business.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, man. That would suck.
that's life. Right? He's like, I didn't ask to do this.
Well,
I think that wraps it up
for
main review segment. Let's welcome back the viewers.
Well, welcome back, listeners, who skipped over the spoilers and viewers.
We do that every time.
It's all right. Eventually, we'll have video, and then we won't have to worry about it.
This is true.
Let's hope. Welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank the Suicide Squad up upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We're going to go ahead and rank our movies and see how they compare, and hash it out for best movie, I guess you could say. Yeah.
That we've watched so far.
That we've watched, yeah. If you want to reference the Entropy list for yourself, it's in the episode description. Man.
So,
probably not the top 10 killer we thought it could have been last week. It was an idea that was thrown out there. I'm going to be a little maybe overzealous and say that I don't think that's happening, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, one last thing I want to say. This movie's shot really well.
Yes, it is. They used red cameras for this one.
Oh.
That was part of the extras that I saw. They used red cameras, and James Gunn said it allowed for much more fun and creative filmmaking, especially.
Yeah, there's a couple like rack focus shots that I really enjoyed. He talked about I know in kind of pre-production, kind of going back to like a 70s revenge or like a 70s like kind of action exploitation movie.
70s like Vietnam vibes from that opening sequence
for sure. And I think it definitely fits into almost that like kind of Sam Peckinpah kind of style a little bit more. Yeah, so sorry, I did just want to address that last little thought I had. So the thing for me, I would think, is obviously Deadpool. That's kind of the one that's closest to this in tone and kind of what it's aiming for, I feel like. And I think I like the storyline in this one a little bit better than Deadpool for me.
Okay.
And the cast and characters together. I mean, obviously, Deadpool I've had time to kind of watch and rewatch and cool on a little bit. And this is coming in hot and heavy, but I think for me it might be just right there. Now's a big question is where is it if I put it above that?
Yeah, that's a tough spot.
That's true, but I think that's kind of where I want it to be. Actually, to be honest with you,
21.
I think just 21. Yeah, like one slot above Deadpool.
All right, right below Boys in the Hood, right above Deadpool at 21. Deadpool at 21.
Deadspool would be good too.
Deadspool.
Just a bunch of thread running around cracking wise.
I feel like it's a Saw series where you get trapped.
Okay.
You get trapped in yarn.
Well, you're thinking like a wire, maybe like cable.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I'm with you.
Deadspool.
Coming to sci-fi near you this Halloween.
Coming to Paramount Plus. Blake, where is the Suicide Squad landed for you?
You know what? I think Nathaniel may be onto something. Putting it, you have to compare it to Deadpool. Like I said, I think this was like an Avengers / meets Deadpool to me. I don't know if I like it more than Deadpool. I think it's very close.
There's some heavy hitters around there too.
Yeah,
I was looking up and down.
I think what hurts me is that Kill Bill 2 is below Deadpool.
I'll accept that.
So I think I have to put this at 23. So behind Kill Bill Volume 2.
Above Tokyo Drift.
Above Tokyo Drift, yeah.
That's tough, man. Ty?
No, you were given a directive by your partner.
I think I'm gonna be right with
me to go?
Nathaniel at 21.
No, I was saying Leah told Tyler that if
yes,
if it was ranked above Frozen that she would fight him.
there would be hell to pay.
Well,
oh yeah.
yikes.
I'm sorry.
Frozen's at
babe.
like 32.
That's unfortunate.
It's
I had to
definitely
scroll
gonna
and
be-
see where Frozen
Yeah.
was. Yeah, I'm sorry, Leah. That's a tough cut to make.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be with Nathaniel at 21.
Okay. I'm very torn here because Deadpool's really throwing me off because I look right below and I see Volume 2 and Tokyo Drift movies I loved. But I also think I kind of have to go 21 because I did enjoy this more than Deadpool, and I enjoyed a lot of this more than Tokyo Drift. But even though I had so much fun with Tokyo Drift, and Kill Bill is also throwing me off because it's a wildly different type of movie, and I also really loved that one almost equally to Kill Bill Volume 1. So that's throwing me off a little bit, but I still think I'm gonna go just with 21. I think that's still I feel fine with that spot there.
Okay.
So 21,
Yes,
that's
21,
three of us.
21,
So I think that
23.
kind of overrides.
Yeah.
I think we'll just put it at 21.
I'm
then.
good with that.
All right, well, Kill Bill, the Suicide Squad. I was looking right at it. The Suicide Squad rated in at
There she says.
21.
Come.
right below, what was it? I scrolled down too bad already.
It's right below Boys in the Hood,
Boys
right
in the
above
Hood, thank you,
Deadpool.
and above Deadpool. Cool. Next week's review, Nathaniel, you suggested this one. The Rock.
The Rock. Yes, that is right. Going with another action flick.
Tell us about The Rock. This was Nathaniel's suggestion here.
I think it's mostly called The Rock. Or if you can do a Sean Connery impersonation. That was awful, by the way. I can't do impersonations at all, or impressions. It's impression if it's flattering, impersonation if it's mean, right?
Something like that. I think I got the gist, though. I think the listener does, too.
Yes, The Rock. It's 1996. Michael Bay. Probably his best film, in my opinion. Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, also starring Ed Harris. Basically, a general goes rogue and gets a bunch of gas and takes over Alcatraz. And Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery got to break in to get the gas back.
Okay.
It's awesome.
So, all right. Well, I'm excited to watch it. Listeners, I was looking, and it doesn't seem like there's a great place to watch it. It's on Is it Fubo?
Fubo.
I never know.
Tubi.
Whatever it is. It's on Fubo. If you can find that for free with the streaming link, I think it should be there with ads. If not, it is available to rent on all those streaming services.
I feel like it's one that comes up on like an Apple TV, like $5 one
it is. It's
every
like
now and then.
$4.
Yeah.
$4.
So I would say it's worth it, but obviously you guys spend your money how you want to.
Maybe check out the non-spoiler review next week if you're uncertain, and
true.
then you can make your judgments then.
Do you happen to own this by chance on Vudu?
No, I'm pretty sure I own a DVD copy of this one. To be honest with you, it's been one on the rotation for a while. I'm actually honestly surprised the three of you haven't seen it.
No,
I feel like it's maybe
Is
a
it
little bit.
well-known one?
I feel like most guys, if you 96,
yeah, 96.
I feel like most guys, if you say The Rock, like most people would know it.
It's a very like 90s action.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's Michael Bay. That's fun.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think it's his only movie that's in the Criterion Collection.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, find a way to watch The Rock and join us next week for our review.
Cool.
Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review?
You know what? Let me check on that right now. I have a sneaky suspicion that we do not, but we can always check on it. And if you are curious what I'm talking about when I say 5-star review, can't connect right now. What happens is if you give us a 5-star review, we will read it out on the pod for you. Can be nice, can be mean, can be funny, can be whatever you want it to be, but it's just got to be 5 stars. Otherwise, we won't talk about it. That's the rules. And we do not have one this week, Adam.
That's unfortunate, but
maybe we will
do
next week.
Have more than one email.
Oh my goodness!
We have 3 total.
Miles got back to us.
His agent did. It's a work in progress.
Been waiting so long.
Talk to Dos Manchian's agent instead.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
In the
out an email
meantime,
blast.
we have received 3 emails. 2 from alleged number 1 listener Ryan Foley, and 1 from one Brandon Wozni, the Woz, who's in the other room right now. But he wrote in allegedly. So we got to start with email number 1 from Ryan Foley, which should have been read on last week's episode.
Ooh.
I made the show notes at work and didn't think to check the email, which I usually do. So I apologize, Ryan. I did not see it in time because it's somewhat timely to last week's review of The Green Knight. So listeners, kind of put yourself in that mindset here as I read Ryan's first email. He said, "What up, Back Row Banter? Ryan Foley here, dropping by to stir up some discussion with you all.
Okay.
When I left the theater after viewing The Green Knight, I was reminded what my drive for seeing movies is. I watch movies, good and bad, so I can, for a brief period of time, escape into the world that the film is trying so hard to build for us, the viewers. Once the film is done, I can then come back to the real world and live life like normal. That is what drives me to escape into movies. As I ask you all, what drives you guys to watch movies? Is it to travel to a temporary world for a brief period of time? Is it because you like different actors? Is it to critique the way things were directed or produced? Cheers to your anniversary, Rose. Your number 1 fan always looks forward to new episodes. Let's try to check out a movie together this year. Thank you all for making great content for a nerd like me. Peace out, the Ryan Foley." So that was supposed to be read last week. Obviously, I did not. So we'll answer that question in a second. But obviously, I did not last week. Unfortunately, I missed that. So I do apologize, Ryan.
So we got a follow-up.
We got a follow-up shortly after that episode went up. He said, "Thanks a bunch." That's the title of the email. He said, "Hey, Back Row Banter bros. Just wanted to give a big old thank you for reading my email last week on the Green Knight episode, and I really enjoyed everyone's input on what drives them to watch movies. Very informative and interesting to listen to last week on the Green Knight episode. because my email was relevant to that episode. ... I think there's 6 there. Not sure what was worse. ... Being forgotten, or Adam saying in the Snake Eyes episode that he thought the live-action Garfield was a good movie. Who says that? All kidding aside, much love, bros. Thank you for making great content like a nerd like me. #1 fan, Ryan Foley.
Is that our first hate mail?
Potentially. See, man, I should have made him leave it in a 5-star review. It's okay. It was in good fun. Quick little side note on that Garfield little jab. I watched that movie when it came out, probably when I was like 8, and I liked it back then. I haven't seen it in like 7 years.
Yeah, it was funny as I can hear Ryan's voice saying who says that?
Yeah.
But you don't have to justify it, man. You were 8.
Yeah, it was fun at the time, man.
Garfield
I haven't gone back to it.
He was doing it to escape his life.
That's true.
I lived vicariously through this cat who was voiced by Bill Murray, and it was a good time. All right.
They got the new Clifford coming out.
Man.
If you're
into dogs.
I'm not looking to relive that Garfield experience. I just
if you wanted some other
younger.
CGI pet,
I guess so. But thank you for writing in, Ryan. Let's get to his question.
Ryan.
What drives us to watch movies? What drives you, Nathaniel? I mean, you're probably leaning more towards the side where he mentioned critiquing.
No, honestly,
analyzing.
I feel like for me, they were always the thing that I loved. My parents tell a story that they could just plop me on the couch and basically turn on any movie, and I would be sucked in for an hour or so, or however long the movie is, or anything like that. So it's my favorite form of storytelling. It's my and storytelling is one of my favorite things. So that's where I kind of come from. I think overall it's just that passion for stories and what is new and different, and what is going to make me think, and what's going to fool with my emotions or expand my consciousness, or whatever you want it to be. I think stories just reach that part of us that can kind of speak to all of those things. So it's for me, it's just a very basic thing of it's just one of my favorite things in the world. So I enjoy it as much as I can.
Blake, what about you, man? What drives you? Because you're a big horror movie guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that relates to maybe what your reasoning for watching and loving movies is, but
Yeah, it's a good question, Foley. I would say kind of the root cause of mine is one is entertainment for sure. Then outside of that, I mean, I think it's just it's always refreshing to see like something new, and to kind of just get exposed to new ideas, new thought process, and things of that nature. But there's always something to take away from any film. And I think that's kind of what turned me on to film, and my first few days, or my first beginning days, I should say, of getting into film was kind of just watching a movie, and then I would just catch myself just reading about it all the time, rather it be forums online, different reviews online, Wikipedia. That's probably my quick answer to that.
cool. Tyler?
It's a loaded question.
It's a very loaded question. I'm thinking here trying to think of my answer.
You could all four of us, I'm sure, could talk for hours on it.
Yeah.
We could do a whole
You stuck me
episode
on
on
that
what brings us in
Maybe we
movies.
should.
Maybe we should.
And
yeah.
honestly, it changes. I think it changes with whatever movie you're watching. I think it changes with what expectations you have.
Absolutely.
I think it changes
100%.
with where you are in your life. So yeah, I really, honestly, I couldn't tell you unless we were talking about a specific movie. But yeah, I'll see you on Friday, you stupid idiot. We can talk about it.
But I mean, like, why do you enjoy movies so much? Like, what do you?
I think it's just because it's different. It's meant to take something that you either have some kind of relationship with, or something that you want to build a relationship with, or something that you just want to get into, and it can take you there. Some do them really well, some do them really poorly. But at some point with you watching a trailer or you reading something about it, you find yourself interested in whatever that's about. And like I said, I think sometimes you go into it analytically, and I think sometimes you go into it just because, like, I really like superhero shit, and I want to see the Suicide Squad get fucking redemption, and they did. And so yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, it's definitely hard
to get
question.
away.
Yeah, because I mean, there's so many layers to it, and I would agree with everything you mentioned in your email, Ryan, where it's like, do you do it to get away? Do you do it to analyze? Do you do it to be entertained? Whatever it is, and it's a combination of all of those. I mean, there's no like one reason I'm watching movies. I would say what I always go back to, and I've said before on the podcast, is I think movies are there to, at their core, at least evoke some emotion out of the viewer, or at least or to potentially make them think, which I think are sometimes intertwined. And so that's why I always go back to them. And my favorite movies are the ones where they invoke a lot of emotion out of me. That's why I like Hereditary so much, even though it's not necessarily the emotion you would necessarily think of a lot, but it is so good at evoking emotion out of you when you watch it.
Absolutely.
I get so inspired by a lot of movies, and that's part of the reason why I like Whiplash a lot. And that's why I like romances a lot. Like those are my favorite movies, because those are the kind of movies that just evoke so much emotion, that then when I get attached to them like that, that's what I care about, and that's why they're kind of my favorite movies. So that's probably, if I had to give one answer, kind of why I like being taken away and caring about characters that caring about people that obviously don't exist, but they're characters, and I can still care about them even if they're fictional, and so getting emotion out of it, whether it's horror, whether it's romance, whatever it is, like I just love going back to that over and over again and getting kind of that dopamine hit or whatever it is.
Sure.
By going through the emotions of the film and of the characters.
Yeah, one thing I think Tyler kind of hit on too is I think one of the beautiful things about art and beautiful things about film in general is that it is an experiential time or I'm looking for another word for experience. It is, in and of itself, is an experience in that you bring so much of yourself to the film, and then you see that reflected back on you, even if it's animated or anything like that. It's a moment in which we are taking time to look at what we hold, worthy of putting up on a screen, and seeing that reflected out and disseminated out into the world and everything. We, if I can talk artsy about it for a second, stories exist to inform us about our lives and what we hold important, and the more that you can interact with that, the more you are going to experience all of those different things and different views, and where you are in your life changes on that. Like Tyler said, how many times have you come to a movie and thought, I don't really like it, doesn't really get to me, and then 5 years later you come back to it and you love it now or something like that. So it's awesome. It's always changing.
That's art for you. And music is kind of the same way too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you said, where a lot of those times where your favorite movie at a certain point in life may be based off where you are at in life. Same thing with music, right? It's like, hey, your favorite album from 2015 may just be a ton of nostalgia in terms of, I remember doing these things when this movie came out in 2012. Yeah. And I remember these friends, I remember the friendships I had, the family members I was with. So yeah, you definitely got a point with that.
Yeah, and I took a summer course just finished up a few weeks ago, and it was about digital media, and there's a week on narratives and forming narratives, and there was a piece that I forgot who the author was, and I really wish I could credit him, but he talks about how narrative is so inherently human, because we tell our life stories in the form of narratives of people in our lives as characters, and events that story or events of our lives as a story and as a plot, and we are inherently storytellers in the way that we relate to one another. And it's an essential human trait, honestly. And so seeing these movies, I mean, obviously they're not retellings, but having a narrative is something that humans are innately attached to.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
For sure. Ryan, thank you very much for writing in. I really apologize for not getting it last week because it was a timely email, and I kind of dropped the ball on that. I hope that does not discourage you from writing in similar fashion in the future, because I will be on top of that more. I promise.
Please do ask away, man.
Yeah, for real. We do appreciate it. And other listeners, feel free to welcome or to write in like Ryan Foley did. We are definitely open to answering questions like that. We'd love to talk about it. Like, that is some great content. And so if you have questions you want answered like that, that's what I say at the end of the podcast. And I mean it more like what Ryan just sent in. Like, give us some topic questions. We'd love to have some more things to talk about where it's not just the same thing.
Some banter.
It's not just the same thing every week. And maybe we could do those as like standalone episodes. Like, if you want to write in and we just, talk. We'd talk about a certain question like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Let us know.
Yeah. And then our last email comes from Brandon Wozni, of course. who is now sort of in the room. But anyway, he says he titled his Carnage. This is going to be an update on the Carnage talk from last week's trailer talk.
Venom 2 trailer.
Yep. He goes, the year is 1992. Eddie Brock is sitting in his cell when the Venom symbiote finds him and rebinds to him, and they escape prison. Eddie is not aware, however, that the Venom symbiote has left his offspring because symbiotes just split from their offspring and leave them behind like sea turtles do. The offspring binds to its nearest host, Eddie's cellmate, Cletus Cassidy, through a cut. While binding through his blood, he turns a bright red, and because Cletus is a serial killer, becomes much more violent and aggressive than Venom. So Blake was actually really close. His first major story is called Maximum Carnage, and is a big story where Venom and Spider-Man team up to beat him. Also had a killer Sega game under the same name.
There we go. So we were talking last week a little bit about the origin of Carnage, and that we didn't really know that background for us going into the movie, and whether that was going to be changed or anything like that. So it sounds like he gave us the definitive origin story of Carnage.
And I didn't know Venom and Spider-Man team up to defeat him, because that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I do remember. I seem to remember maybe that at one point, but I think I had forgotten that as well. So
yeah, that's a cool storyline. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So thank you, Waz.
There you have it.
Shout out Waz.
Thanks, Waz, and thanks, Ryan, for writing in. Listener, if you would like to write in, you can do so as well. Our email is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. I usually check it every week. Last week was the exception. So I apologize for that. But write in, ask us your questions, tell us your comments, what you think of the podcast, any critiques you'd have, any concerns or grievances you might have as well. Send them into the email. And then also share the show with a friend, a family member, maybe a task force teammate or a freedom fighter. Or a alien conqueror.
Maybe your cellmate.
Maybe your cellmate. And then follow us on Twitter. Follow us at Banter Row. On Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod. Is that right?
That is correct.
And then on YouTube. Subscribe to us there for free at Back Row Banter.
Free this week only.
And every week after that, actually.
Okay, you've convinced me.
All right.
You drive a hard bargain.
It's a hell of a deal over there on YouTube. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd. I'll be on there logging some stuff. As I've hounded on before, I've been faithful at logging things and putting reviews on things I thoroughly enjoy. Put a review for The Green Knight. I'll probably go in there and put a review in for 9 days. As you guys know, I was pretty high on that. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on that. We'll pass it along to we'll go to Nathaniel.
Yeah, you can always find me on Letterboxd and Twitter at @NSKingrick. You can find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. Got the other podcast, Sandpiper Tapes. Doing work on that right now. In progress, season 2. So keep an eye out for that, folks. With that, Ty, take us away, bro.
Stream sometimes tv.twitch.tv. twitch.tv/ultrabajo ELTRABAJO87. And Instabox, that's a new one. Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter. You can find me Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES. Shush madam.
You can find me on Twitter at Aish24 and on Letterboxd at Aish. I think that'll do it here for episode 65, The Suicide Squad. 'Twas a good one, boys.
Yeah. Way to go.
Join us.
It's amazing he steps on nobody that he's possessing, but everybody who's like shooting at him.
Well, it is an extension of himself.
So they move.
Oh, okay, I guess. Yeah.
Spoilers. Or who are we talking about? Who do we know? Maybe we'll cut that. Maybe not. But we got to sign off here, folks.
We'll see you guys next time. Join us next week for our review. We'll BRB.
Hey, peace, love, and positivity. Nah, just kidding. Be excellent to each other. We will BRB.
Thanks for stopping by. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to make us grow. We appreciate it. We love all the help we can get, and we would love to grow. But, yeah, appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. Be good to each other. You never know where everyone's at in their journey. And, yeah, we'll BRB.
Yeah, to double down on what Ty's saying, you never know where people are at in their journey in life. That's kind of big taking away points from 9 days. So if anyone's big on those messages, please go watch that movie. Can't speak highly enough about it. And we'll BRB.
ready for another lesson?
Mall. I'm not a fan of Woodfield Mall.
She doesn't like to shop, but we could definitely get carried away together.
That's how it happens. You get lost in that mall. I think they do it on purpose.
I used to work there.
Yeah, when? At the Bow store?
At the Bow store, yeah.
Oh shit.
At the Bow store.
At the Bow store. Yeah, I feel like you could like sample that. At the
Yeah, man. I
Bow
like
store.
at one point in my life, I was like a mall employee, and I was like I literally went to the mall like every day.
Ugh,
Really?
I would hate that.
It's crazy. It's a different lifestyle.
I'm sure you see all kinds of people in that place.
Oh, it's crazy.
I'm sure it's even worse than Schaumburg.
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is you really don't have to deal with a lot of people.
A lot of people just come in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of that fact, traffic's not like something that they look at. Because they
People
know
just
people are
come
just
in.
coming in and out.
To look at things.
Makes sense.
and leave.
I think I'm good now.
Would you sell a good amount though?
Depends on what store you were at. I worked for Bose at 3 different stores. Huntley, if you did anything over like $3,000, you were like a hero.
Right.
Your budgets were like maybe $10,000 a day. Just because Huntley was so like on the boonies. And then Schaumburg was like your Schaumburg. You get way more foot traffic, you get bigger sales, you have bigger budget and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so then that's where you learned how to like sell like all the home theater stuff because you sold more of it. And then I worked at a store in Chicago on the Mag Mile
Ooh.
for like a year.
How was that?
All you sell is headphones. Your whole budget is like headphones and like portable speakers
Oh
and shit
yeah,
like
of
that.
course that would make sense.
But since I came from Schaumburg, they're like, hey, if you could sell like a home theater set every now and then, that'd be fucking dope. So then I like honestly tried to start selling full blown home theater systems to people that were like leaving the country.
Right.
And there's people that bought them.
I'm sure.
And they're like, how am I going to get this on a plane? Like, I was like, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to go down the street. You're going to go buy a carry-on. I'm going to literally pay for that luggage. I'm going to take it off the home theater set. So you don't worry about it.
Right.
I'll reimburse you. I'll just discount the system. Cool. And then we're going to take everything out of the Bose box.
Put it in
And we're
there.
going to put it in the suitcase.
Oh my
and then that's
God.
going to be your carry-on. And they're like, dude, that's genius. Because it's just
How many
electronics.
times did you do that?
I ended up selling one like once a month.
Okay.
Like that? Where you have to
Sometimes,
ship
yeah.
them? Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that maybe only happened like 4 or 5 times.
No. And then sometimes you just get the people that still like lived in the US, but they're like, dude, I have to take this up like 20 floors.
shit.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, we'll deliver it. So I actually like there were times where you would take a Bose system on a dolly and walk like 2 blocks and then go up this person's elevator and like deliver their Bose system like that day. It was crazy.
Yeah, that does sound
That's
wild.
interesting, man. Yeah.
The life and times of Ty.
Wild. Retail.
Retail.
Retail for it.
And then at what point did you go start selling at your home theater store? Like, you know, that you said you worked like a,
In Schaumburg?
I don't know if it was in Schaumburg. You said you worked at some store where it was like, we just did mag basically, but it was like its own thing.
Oh, that was I started at Best Buy in Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
I worked there for like 6 months. And then this guy came in, spent like
Yeah, that's what you're
10
saying.
or 12 G's. I was like, yo, what do you do? He's like, I do home theater stuff. He literally came back the next day and he was like, I love the way that you did everything. Like, I wanna like hire you. So then he wanted to open up his own store that did like super high end home audio, like Magnolia,
okay. Right.
Bowers and Wilkins, Macintosh, all that shit.
Right.
And he's like, I want to build like a retail space because he usually just did everything out of his home. And so then we like built a store. We had like a full blown like grand opening. And then like 6 months later, he was like, dude, I can't afford you. And I was like, what?
I've been with you since the start.
Yeah, dude, like my blood, sweat, and tears went into that fucking store.
And Tyler didn't have ownership.
Yeah.
Nope.
Damn.
I didn't have a stake.
Capitalism.
Got raw dogged.
You shouldn't have
Gotta
taken a
love it.
salary. You should have taken stock. 40%.